Greetings. As promised, today's tale will finally tie together the stories I have presented to you, and finally connect this universe more properly. Although in order to do that, we must start with another story. This is the tale regarding Link Barton. Our journey begins a long time ago, back in Link's youth. While his childhood was rather uneventful, the circumstances around it are certainly of interest. You see, this was over 100 years ago, meaning that he, like his future friend, is displaced from time. However, I'm getting ahead of myself, as the events that transpired cause this temporal relocation and its implications are much further in the story. Another important part of his life was the disappearance of his grandfather. Link had spent many days of his youth trying to find his grandfather's location. When he was 17, their family received a letter saying that Le Hombre was hiding in a small town in France. Link scrapped together all of his money and bought a ticket to France upon learning of this information. He never thought this plan through, since not only did he not have any money to return home, he had none to even feed himself. He was hoping that his grandfather would help him, since he was in the same small town he was living in, but he didn't spot him anywhere. However, luck seemed to turn around when he was doing petty thievery. It was caught by authorities when all of a sudden an old man appeared to save the man's life. As Link had hoped, the man was his grandfather, the hombre to Cuesioneros. Since Link was forced into crime by his lack of hindsight, he was trained by his grandfather, who went under the moniker the Master Swordsman, in the ways of combat and archery. He soon donned the moniker of Hawkshot. During one heist, where they were raiding a museum of ancient relics, they accidentally triggered the alarm and were forced to flee for their lives with only one item. They soon found themselves in a cave where they encountered a mysterious villain known as Calamity. It turns out they had stolen something that would have helped him in his schemes, so he sealed the duo away for 100 years. They would be awakened by a member of the Guardian Units of National Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division, otherwise known as Gunshield. Yeah, that's what it means, by the way. Bet you didn't know that. I probably should have said it earlier. The agent that uncovered them was Agent 86, aka Sheepbird, although her real name was Zelda Morse. Once freed, he continued criminal activity working with Black Inkling until she was turned good by the powers of Gunshield. However, just like this new partner in crime, he too was also turned good by the organization. This was because of the conversion of Inktasha. He was tired of being a criminal. He was only forced to be one because of his foolishness, and it led him to be displaced from his time. However, now, he may have a chance. A better chance. One where morality isn't as foggy as it has been for him. With much consideration, he joined the group as an agent for them. He never regretted it, not only for the new moral stance he has, but because he got close to his discoverer, Agent 86. He fell in love with Zelda, who he later married, leading her to retire. The two of them settled on a remote farm that Gunshield set up for her protection. However, this peace wouldn't last long, as gun shields, as well as the world itself, would soon be in need of his heroic services. Hawkeye joined in the heroic roster that was the Avenging Fighters. He was joined alongside Black Inkling, Iron Hedgehog, Captain Eagle, Hulking Kong, and Thorio, all of which were subjects that I have covered previously. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how everything is connected. The purposes of this entire tirade, every tirade I have spoken of previously, was all leading to this. To finally show you the heroes of this world come together. There are more heroes out there. This is merely the beginning. Now you may be wondering about the loose ends that I've presented. That being the reason he was imprisoned with the Master Swordsman. Well, it's not a random decision for Calamity to imprison Link and his grandfather. This treacherous foe has a troubled history with Barton's grandfather for decades. It all started when he uncovered a mysterious sword in a cave. He was exploring in a nearby forest. Calamity had been sealed inside of it since the days of ancient Egypt by those who did not like his tyrannical rule as the pharaoh of the land. It had been transferred to North America by a mysterious gemstone which L'Ombre also found in the cave. He also pulled out the sword, not knowing what it will do, and accidentally unleashed the Demon Pharaoh. Calamity was soon enraged when he found out that it wasn't a loyal follower of his that freed him, but a normal, random human being that just showed up and showed more and more contempt of him as their initial encounter continued. Once learning of the villain's plans, L'Ombre grew extremely more hostile, which resulted in an intense fight. Using the same sword the Demon Pharaoh was sealed in, he managed to defeat the villain, but his demonic opponents swore to get revenge on all that he loved. Because of this, he fled back to his homeland and changed his name, leaving his family behind so they can remain safe. His real name is actually Jacquerie Barton, who was actually born in France but moved to America when he was young. His new name roughly translates from French as Hero Shade. Well, the parts that aren't random French names, that is. He never properly explained why he left because no one believed him when he said that he ticked off an old magical Egyptian pharaoh that's now seeking to destroy him and everything he held dear because, let's be honest, if he said that, he'd be locked up in an institution of some sort. He did say where he was going, prompting his grandson to search for him decades later. I had explained that part more in detail earlier. However, L'Ombre had fallen on tough times since then. After losing his temper in a pottery shop, he had fallen into severe debt that left him nowhere else to go but a life of crime. Money doesn't grow on grass, after all. Using the sword that he used to fight Calamity, he performed various daring heists across France for decades. Link only agreed to be trained and then join him on one mission, but that ended up being the fateful one where Calamity returned and sealed them away in the very same cave the diabolical pharaoh was trapped in, no less. He had found them because they were looking for the same thing he was, the Deku Death Seed. They had been mistaken as ancient Egyptian relics, but their true originators were the celestial creators. It is said that these horrific artifacts can eradicate inferior species in favor of the rise of the superior species. The caveat to this item is that the wielder's mind is warped by the seed in such a way that they see death as a beautiful thing. No problem for the Mad Pharaoh, for he already views death that way. Anyways, back to the heroes being discussed here. They tried to fight back, but they eventually lost. The rest, as they say, is history. As for Calamity, well, he would be sealed away once more in something called the Ether Force, never to be seen again. That is, until another former Mad Ruler came looking for the Infinity Gems and accidentally released him once more. But that is the story for another time. Oh yes, there is far more to this universe than you might have thought. If you thought these stories were unbelievable, you have not seen anything yet. Though, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave you there, for this tale is at its end. I will see you again another time, where I will discuss more strange heroes. Ones who have been combined with Marvel and video game characters like this. Until next time, goodbye.
Hi, it's me, the guy that can't justify Inglings but somehow can justify anthropomorphic hedgehogs, manta rays, and apes. Somehow. You know, me, Nate, just Nate, and I really hope you enjoyed this little pack I made. There'll be more in the future. This is just the end of one chapter. Oh, I spent a lot of time. I didn't get a lot of views, though. Or subscribers. Live and let live. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. It's not that, I didn't want people to see my work. No. I'm totally not mad that I spent all this time for nothing. Anyway, this video has been tremendous. It's just been tremendous. I like it. I really like it. There's not a lot to say, so, you know. Oh, by the way, I might be on vacation when this comes out. I'm recording it before vacation, so, letting you know. The time before that, I'll be a bit distracted, shall we say. Looking forward to it. So let's just get into all the design notes regarding the actual video itself. I spent a lot of time researching Legend of Zelda lore for this specific video. I also teased a certain antagonist. He'll be later down the pipeline, but he's coming. He's a-coming. Like I said, this is merely the end to one chapter, one pack. Quite a ride, huh? Hero pack, looking back at all the stuff I did. There's not a lot of stuff I did, but, I will release Hero Pack 2 soon. It may contain stranger combinations than what you've seen previously. Anyway, here's some design notes because, my boy, this piece is what all true artists strive for. Anyway, his band-aids on his nose have the life heart on it. There's not much else to say here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I did. And be sure to tune in next time. If you like the stuff that I do, then please subscribe, like, comment, share with all your friends, because I really like this. I spent a lot of time on this. I'm not letting this whole thing go to waste. Please do all that stuff I just said. And with all that said, I'll be seeing you next time. Bye. Wanting contact with you.